together her first solo album since joining Fleetwood Mac. Now, you're also going to see the shooting of her album cover photo, if you've ever wondered how that's done, as well as the making of her video, Got a Hold on Me. So stay tuned. It's coming in just a minute.
Tonight's Sunday Night Special is sponsored in part by Tampax Tampons, by Atari Home Video Games and Cartridges, by Miller High Life, and by Levi's Jeanswear.
Weekend every week, the in-place to unwind is at the Harborside Lounge. Unwind.
Operator, I'd like to make a person-to-person collect call to Montreux, Switzerland. The number there is 427-9137, calling Mr. Russ Titleman. And just tell him that it's Mickey calling, would you please? Great. Yes, collect call, that's correct. Thank you. Russ, how you doing? How's it going? Recording going well? Great. It's beautiful here in LA today. What's it like in Switzerland? Terrible. Good. Good. Listen, I got a call from the people from the television company. They'd like me to have you ask her some questions for this documentary we're doing. So I'm going to send them in the mail today. It's really important you read the questions, and if you like them, ask them to her. It'll really help the show. Russ, hold on a second. I got an important call on the other line. Mo, how you doing? Listen, I'm talking to Europe right now on the Christine McVie project. Can you just hold on a second? I'm on the other line. Thanks. Anyway, listen. If you could go over those questions and make sure you ask them to her on camera. The director is a kind of a difficult guy to deal with, but do the best you can. It'll really help the special a lot. Terrific. I'll see you in a couple weeks. Send her my love. Bye-bye. Mo, oh yeah, things are great. Oh yeah, it's going very, very well. As a matter of fact, we're working on the documentary, and I'm sure it's going to come out just great. Terrific. I'll bring over your stuff. List of questions these people want us to answer, so let's just go through them. Let's go through them. We'll have a little walk and we'll discuss them. George Hawkins Jr. is our bass player. So how did you find George?
Well, I've known him for what, 3-4 years now. Well, mainly because of Mick. I mean, I know him through Big Fleetwood for the most part.
Oh, he went to Africa with him. The project so far is turning out, you know, more than anyone had, or a lot better than anyone had hoped it would. You know, the material is good. We knew that from the start. But it's really come together, sound-wise and stuff like that. The band sounds great together. Ferrone's a joy to play with. You know, we sound like a band. It feels good. Todd Sharp is our guitar player, and he was found the same way.
Well, I mean, I've known him for a bit longer than George, actually. But I mean, you know, that was really why I finally decided on him, was because I was so impressed with what they did with Mick. You know?
Of course, no finish yet. We don't have vocals on everything yet. It's turned out real good. It's gone real quick. We spent a lot of time in preparation for it, Chris and I. And then we spent a little time looking for a drummer. In that respect, it's different. You know, we ended with Steve Ferrone's a great drummer. Probably not the kind of drummer we were looking for originally. You know, we were looking for more somebody like Mick Fleetwood. You know, a real simple, basic drummer. Steve's kind of a classy drummer, and it's worked out somehow.
Steve Ferroni, who is the drummer for the Average White Band and plays Shaka Khan and many other people. Great drummer.
Great.
I found him in New York and sent him to you on the airplane, and you loved him. So yeah, anyway, the stuff with Ferroni really worked out. I think that the picture on the plane really showed us the truth.
That's all he took off.
I was doing a date with Paul Simon and our Garfunkel in New York. And we finished the date, and I had to go to a rehearsal with Shaq, and then Russ called me up and says, what are you doing in August? And I said, well, I'm supposed to be going out with George Benson. And he said, oh, it's a shame, so I want you to come to Montreux to do Christine McVie's album. And I said, well, you know, that's a shame. You know? So then I hung up the phone, went back to the rehearsal, and I was sitting there in the rehearsal, and I said, you know, what am I doing? A month in Montreux, I'd take it.
You called me? You wanted to do it? Oh, good. I really did. No, I didn't. I thought it was somebody else too.
Why did you want to have a producer at all when, in fact, you were co-producer on your Fleetwood Mac records?
Too much of a responsibility for a start. I mean, that's too much like hard work. Actually producing my own record.
Yeah.
I needed to delegate to me this time.
I personally think it was
I'm
a wise
very happy with the decision myself.
About 1977, Kenny Loggins did his first solo tour, and I was with the band then. And we opened for Fleetwood Mac on a nationwide tour. And that's where I met Christine and the rest of the people in that band. And we hit it off fairly well. I did a project with Mick a couple of years ago with Todd Sharp as well in Africa. And through him, we also got to know Christine a lot better. The last few years, we've been spending quite a bit of time together, playing and stuff, singing. So that's how I got the job.
It's nice getting away from, like having people hang out.
Yeah, well, I mean...
Like, in a bubble, all you have to do
Yeah, but all I had to do was choose the right people, which I did, and then just to hang out with them for the whole album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think that I'd ever be able to hack it as a solo artist. I think I can now. Maybe there's a lot more confidence. But I mean, I'm not a complete with Mac or anything like that, but I want to definitely go on the road on my own.
Have you written all the material for this record yourself?
No.
Perhaps someone else at the table?
Yes, as a matter of fact, my friend and co-writer and guitar player.
There were a lot of things that we just had on little tapes of us sitting around, and then later on we'd go back and listen to it and go, wait a minute, that sounds really great. You know, just one little idea, let's work on it. Show us how it came about. Chris and I, just like I was just saying, she had this tape of her playing with John McVie, who'd come over one day. And it was just, you know, piano and bass and a little machine going in the room. And it was just, they just had, you know, they had a little riff going, and we just messed around with it for all night. Ended up with a song, wrote the words the next night.
When I leave, you'll be there for
Out of probably, I think at one point we sat down and made a list of everything we'd done with Billy Burnett and Colin, and
Yeah,
we had
16.
17 or so. That, you know, some of them disqualified, I guess, for one reason or another. So far, what we got seems to really flow well. Feel,
Yeah,
It sounds like a band. I mean, it's...
You can also write a song and then realize that you can't really perform it. You know, it's like not your kind of song, even though you can write it. It's not.
Yeah.
You know, you write a song and then you come back 3 minutes later and you go, wow, it's a good song, but it's not.
It's not. You write something.
We got millions of those.
When we first met, she was kind of, you know, she used to say to me, you know, well, my music's not difficult, you know, and it's, you know, it's the hardest thing to do is something simple, you know. It's really, it just sort of, everything flows real easy.
Well, just by the nature of the interaction of different people, as opposed to the group of people that she had worked with for so many years, has given her new stimulus. So, you know, just by virtue of that alone, she's doing different things. You know, experimenting with her voice, some different chords, you know, just a little different stuff.
Yeah, I play Mick a couple of things on the phone. I mean, it must have cost me a fortune. Actually, I play John as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Did they like it?
Yeah, they loved it. Are you kidding? Yeah, Mick said it sounded great. But I mean, it's hard on the, you know, the telephone, really. But it was such a good recording, of course, and it sounded brilliant.
Her confidence is I've seen it build over the doing of the album. She's as the tracks have been going down and she's been liking it, she's become more confident in herself, I think.
She seems to be having a great time, very happy. I think for a while there she was a little bit concerned, you know, as to how it was going to go and whether the studio was going to work out. You know, we just kind of, well, she, you know, made the commitment to come here with this band and the producer and hire the studio out. And it's worked out so well, you know, that we're just going to stay here and finish it.
The approach more from a band sort of point of view, instead of going into it tonight taking a bunch of, you know, session cats that are writing out the charts and just letting them play the stuff down.
My book.
Oh, is this your book? I thought it was mine. Sorry.
We've seen it, we got the tracks done real fast. Everything seemed to, it was real easy to communicate amongst ourselves what we wanted, you know, from each other.
Thank you. My swords are pretty much gone.
Rhythm and blues all the time. And as much as I love rhythm and blues, it can become kind of boring playing it all the time. And with Chris, it's a lot easier. It flows a lot more. Music seems to flow a lot more. She writes some great songs.
Yeah, it is. It's true. You must be true. I could do that down there, you know?
Planned to rehearse for a couple weeks before we came here. And pretty much in about 2 days, it sounded just fine. You know, you don't want to over-rehearse something like this because once you get into the studio to record it, you're going to take a lot of time anyhow on each song. So you don't want it all to be perfectly worked out before you even start rolling the tape. So that tune, we'd done 3 rehearsals and just sat there and went, well, we're done rehearsing, let's write something. And we actually wrote a song on the spot.
There was one song that we wrote amongst ourselves. It's like a band effort. Too much is not enough. And the rest of them has been Chris and Todd did most of the writing.
Yeah, there was one song during rehearsal that we wanted to come up with something rocky. So Steve started playing a beat, and we just fell in. And it's a song that everyone has really contributed to. It's called Too Much Is Not Enough. So,
Are we working tonight?
yes, we are working.
What time?
I think 7. David's making work tapes.
Uh-huh.
Is he doing transfers?
Anyway, we worked out
Here it is.
the challenge. You want to see the
Check it
lyrics?
out. Let me see the lyrics. What?
Here I am outside, as you see, the National Theatre, which worked out real well because I was able to come and see Susan Fleetwood, who is in Midsummer's Night's Dream, Shakespeare. So apart from playing for Christine, I got a bonus seeing the Sis live in theatre.
Well, I've just come from Gloucester, as a matter of fact, just doing a chat with Steve Winwood. Which has been really exciting for me because he's always been a big idol of mine. And then we just head back to Montreux to finish mixing in about 5 days.
Christine was a little bit over anxious with the fact that she was doing a solo album. She's absolutely fine and loving doing it now, but 9 months ago when she started getting songs together for the album, I had to sort of let her know that she's been in the business a long time and shouldn't be that worried about putting a selection of songs together. I think once she got over those teething problems, she is loving doing it. And I think everyone enjoys it. I certainly do, and I don't think it's a threatening situation in terms of Mac's demise. I think it's real healthy for all of us.
There's probably been quite a few guests on this album as it is. I think that because Lindsay's been on it and Mick, of course, played on the Steve Winwood track. maybe he was. I don't know. Eric Clapton's trying to do something. I don't know if he'll actually get around to doing it. But if not, well then of course Todd's really an excellent guitar player too. So there's really no formula for me writing a song. The music may come first, or the idea of a story, which needn't necessarily be personal to me. It might just be a friend of mine is in a particular situation, and I step into their shoes. You know, I wanted to make this an up album, and I think it is. I think there's not many mournful, tearjerker, misery, gloom type songs. People seem to think that I always write those kind of songs, but in fact I don't. I mean, You Make Loving Fun wasn't a down song, or Don't Stop, you know, but a lot of people have criticised me for writing sort of love-lost kind of things, and I don't really think I do, and I hope I definitely haven't on this album. I think it's a perky little album, I think.
Yeah, Christine presents a problem for me because I literally cannot stand playing with any other keyboard player other than her. And she has some inherent style about her playing which is so absolutely complementary to the music in hand. Any other keyboard that I've ever played with, it is an incessant twiddler, and I can't stand it, you know. And I'm going out the road and I'm not going to have a keyboard player because of that. We have actually done some gigs in England, in America rather, some charity gigs in the last sort of 9 months with the band that I've got out on the road now. And Christine was playing keyboards, so I'm going to miss you, Chris.
I'm going to have it back off my ear though, so I can hear. Really, you can't just get a hold of a synthesizer and just play one note and think that you can play an instrument, which is sort of tending to happen a bit with a few bands, or, you know, the new bands. You know, you've got to have some substance there. I think you've got to be able to play an instrument, and it takes time to learn to play and learn to write and even learn to sing if it comes to that. I mean, I just didn't start singing overnight and sing great, because I can tell you, if you listen to some of my early records, boy, my moral support. So in actual fact, the record hasn't really taken that long to make at all. I mean, we did 10 tracks in 9 days, and I think that's pretty accurate. And we've really been working on the thing for about 8 weeks altogether. And it's virtually finished. I mean, I was going to put a few more vocals on, a few little colours here and there. But it's gone really fast. Sorry about that. If I was you, I'd hold on tight. I was going to say, if I were you, and then I said, if I was standing. Get it? Okay. Even though
Feel over here.
At the end of that, George? Don't turn him down.
My part in the whole scheme of things is art direction and design, choosing the photographer and designing the whole look of the package, actually getting an image that suits the musical feel of the album. This was the original concept, and what we did was we found a photographer that we wanted, Brian Griffin, showed Christine his portfolio, and she loved it. There's one shot in particular of a landscape shot of someone in the fields. So Christine decided that she wanted